Ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's initiate Kids Club large group countdown sequence. Give me a go, no go for launch. Flight crew.
Go flight.
Kids.
Go flight.
Listening ear.
We're a go flight.
Synergyometer.
Go flight.
Omnivision.
Go flight.
Space speed.
We're a go flight.
And projector.
We're a go flight.
Mission Control, this is Kids Club. We are go for launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. And the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Hello, and welcome to Kids Club Central Command. Our mission here is, well, maybe you should hear it from the founder of KCMC, Dr. Archibald Leopold Logical the First. Watch this.
Here at Kids Club Mission Control, we theorize that God created us in order to show love back to God and to show love to others. And that by doing all of this, we will look more like Him. And we believe that that will be, well, staggeringly stupendous. We rely on the Bible for our research, and here you will find all of my research to date, which clearly shows how different habits and ways of living can affect us and others and the entire world. Now first, let's discuss my research.
And that's where our video cuts out. But the good news is we do still have all of this research from Dr. Ogical and his team. Kids Club Mission Control has been reading through it to learn more about the important discoveries he made about being more like God and how that can change us, others, and the whole world. There's a lot of big ideas in here. Let's just start here at the top and, Chris? I wasn't expecting to see this.
Oh, let me see.
What is it?
Okay. It looks like there's some pictures. Okay, there's a lot of pictures in here. I guess we're just gonna have to figure out today's big idea. Wait, May! It's a flip book!
Ooh, let's see.
Okay, there's a picture of Archibald pointing to himself, and then he's pointing to us, and then he's straining to listen, and then he puts up 2 fingers, and then he points to the Bible.
Can you do it one more time?
Sure.
Let's listen to... Today's big idea is let's listen to God. Chris, this is the perfect time to try out my new invention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a machine that helps people tap into their memories. You interested in trying it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure I need an invention to think of a memory.
Yeah, but I need to experiment on someone. So, here it is, the Thinkatron 3000. You just put it on like so, and the chin strap. Yeah. How's that feel?
Dangerous?
No, it's completely safe. I think. Now, you need to get a little bit comfortable. Put your feet flat on the floor. Okay. Take a couple of deep breaths. How do you feel?
Relaxed, calm, maybe even a little sleepy.
Perfect. Now, I want you to think about a time that you listened to God and, maybe you asked him a question Or maybe you needed help with something. Maybe you were confused. Maybe you just wanted to know what God thought about something. How's it going in that brain of yours?
Well, I'm remembering lots of times I listened to God.
Great. Now I want you to think about how that felt. Were you surprised by what God said? Were you angry? Did it calm you? Did it excite you? Kids Club, I think the helmet is working.
I don't know if it's my helmet or if it's just my brain.
Great. Now let's take this helmet off
Okay.
because it did exactly what we thought it would do and more. The Thinkatron 3000 did a stupendous job of helping you remember something from your life.
Or I just remembered it.
Why don't you share about one of the times when you listened to God and what happened?
Oh. Well, one time I got into an argument with one of my friends. I don't even remember what it was about. At the time it seemed really important, but after a while I realized God was trying to tell me something. I needed to forgive my friend. I mean, we're different people and he's gonna handle things differently than I am, and that's okay. It's not my job to judge him. It's my job to show him love and grace, just like God shows me love and grace even when I don't deserve it. So I did a breathing prayer exercise. When I breathed in, I thought about how frustrated I was at my friend, but then when I breathed out, I told God I was letting go of my frustration. It didn't work the first time, so I did it again and again for a few minutes, just me and God, and when I was done, I realized I had forgiven my friend. I wasn't frustrated or upset, and I could move on. And you know what? We are still friends today.
Oh, amazing! I think Dr. Ogical would be very excited about our continuing research.
Oh, but we're not done, because the next area of research is how listening to God can change others. And for this, I think we need a wider view. To the Omnivision! Now, this nifty little contraption is something I've been working on. We've covered how listening to God can affect me or you or any one person, but now let's take a wider look and see what listening to God can mean for others.
Cool. How?
Watch this. Hey, Omnivision, show me a story of someone in the Bible who listened to God.
Isn't that just Siri?
Playing God's story, Samuel.
Oh, I know this one. It's about the time where the
Wait.
kid...
Why don't we just watch and see?
Good idea.
God's story, Samuel. So part of God's story is about Samuel, and it goes like this. Samuel was a prophet, or a person who hears from God and shares God's messages with others. And everything God says is true. The first time Samuel heard from God, he was actually a kid. One night when Samuel was sleeping, he heard someone calling his name. This might have seemed really strange. So Samuel woke up and thought Eli, who lived in the same place, was calling for him. Samuel ran to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called me?" But Eli said, "I did not call you. Go, lie back down." So Samuel lay back down. Then he heard his name again. He ran to Eli a second time and said, "Here I am. You called me?" And Eli said, again, "I did not call you. Go lie back down." This must have been really confusing. Samuel lay back down, and then it happened again. When he ran to Eli a third time, Eli thought it might be God who was talking to Samuel. Eli said, "Go and lie down. If someone calls out to you again, say, 'Speak, Lord, I'm listening.'" Samuel obeyed. When he heard someone say, "Samuel," he answered, "Speak, Lord, I'm listening." And you know what? It was God, and God had lots of things to say to Samuel. God told Samuel some difficult news that he had to deliver to Eli. Now, Eli was a priest, but had made some wrong choices, so God told Samuel that Eli wasn't going to be allowed to be a priest anymore. Samuel was scared because he was pretty sure Eli was going to get upset, but Samuel obeyed God anyway. At first, Eli was upset. But then Eli said, "He is the Lord. Let him do what he thinks is best." See, sometimes people don't like hearing what God has to say, but a prophet has to care more about what God says than what people say. When Samuel grew up, the Israelites asked him to pick someone to be their king. Samuel wasn't sure this was what God wanted, so he asked God about it. God said, "Tomorrow I will send a man to you. He is from the land of Benjamin. He is the one I have picked to be king of Israel." Sure enough, the next day, a tall, strong man came to Samuel. When Samuel looked at him, he heard God say, "He is the man I told you about. His name is Saul. He will rule over my people." Samuel heard what God told him to do, and he obeyed. Samuel anointed Saul as a symbol that God had picked him to be king. But Saul ended up being pretty selfish and making a lot of wrong choices. And when God said it was time to replace Saul with a new king, God sent Samuel to anoint a shepherd boy, the youngest and smallest of his brothers, named David. David also heard from God and obeyed, and David grew up to be the greatest king Israel ever had, until a long time later, when a boy named Jesus was born. Even as a kid, Jesus showed people around him how to hear from God and obey. See, everyone can hear from God. Kids, grown-ups, kings, cowboys, moms, dads, mimes, teachers, astronauts, bird watchers, bird-watching mimes. Everyone. We can hear from him in the middle of the night when we're trying to sleep. Or we might hear something that surprises us. But we don't have to be a grown-up or a prophet or a king in order for God to notice us and for us to hear from him. It's like when God told Samuel, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And that's a little about the story of Samuel. So in case you missed it, here's the quick version. Samuel was a boy who heard from God. God talked to him in the middle of the night. God told Samuel to make Saul a king. Later, God told Samuel to make David king. Samuel heard from God and obeyed. We can hear from God too, and that's a part of God's story.
Okay, very helpful, very interesting. Yep, that told us the story of Samuel. He was a great listener.
Right. But it's interesting that God first spoke to Samuel at night when it was quiet. Of course, I guess it kind of makes sense. It's hard to listen with so many distractions around.
Does Jesus tell us anything about how to listen to God?
More than just talking about listening, Jesus showed people how to listen to God. Jesus was known for getting away from the crowds to spend time with God and listen to what he was saying.
Kids Club, Mission Control needs to take a short break to make sure our instruments are all calibrated, but when we resume transmission, we'll look into the final piece of our research, how listening to God can affect the whole world.
Welcome back to Kids Club Mission Control. We've been researching how listening to God can change us, other people, and the whole world.
To get a better handle on how listening to God can affect the whole world, I think we need to go to our outer space correspondent, Captain Cruz.
Great idea.
Captain Cruz can run the simulation for what it would look like if everyone practiced the big idea. But first, we need to connect with the captain. Hello there, space traveler.
Hello, Earthlings!
We contacted you to run a simulation for us.
Oh, which one?
But we want to see how the world might change if we all listen to God. Can you run the simulation and tell us what you see?
Absolutely. My experiment on the gravitational effects on grape jelly can wait just a minute. Oh, I see a lot of people getting along. Oh, I don't think I see much worry at all. People all seem to know that God made them and loves them. People are listening to God and following what he says. Everyone is telling the truth. There's so much kindness and love and joy.
Wow! Thanks, Captain Cruz. That sounds amazing. So when we say yes to listening to God, all sorts of good things happen.
But just hearing from God isn't enough. We have to do something.
And speaking of doing, the Dudometer is spitting out a mission for the week. Oh, Kids Club, the Dudometer gives us a mission each week to help us learn more about Jesus and how to be like him. has our mission for the week. Ooh, it's a toughie, but I think they can handle it, don't you, Chris?
Absolutely. Let's show it to them.
Oh.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to set a timer and try listening to God for 2 minutes this week.
And like any good scientist, be sure to write down what you hear.
So, Kids Club, what do you think? Do you want to execute on this mission or not? All right, Kids Club. Sounds like you want to execute on the mission. Here we go.
This message will self-destruct in T-5.
Ooh, ruh-roh, we better fix
3,
that.
2, 1.
Is there a clog?
There could be. Ooh, okay.